Hi, welcome to my channel, Autism, ADHD, aphantasia, and a rare memory disorder called SDAM. Don't know what this is. It's bothering me. It's going out of the shot. Okay. Editing Amanda here. For the purposes of this video, I will not be editing out any pauses. You will understand as you watch the video why I'm choosing to make this choice. In this video, I want to talk about speech patterns that autistic people may have. And to have a disclaimer, I am one autistic person. If you meet one autistic person, we are all unique individuals that share common traits, but doesn't mean that all of us are going to have each one of these traits. A lot of autistic people will process slowly. There's so many thoughts racing in our minds. We are seeing so much and taking in so much information all at once that sometimes when it comes to speech, and this is why we have nonverbal autistic people, there's just too much for it to get through the logjam to come out of the mouth correctly or maybe even at a right speed. When I started YouTube about 2 years ago, it was on a different channel, cooking channel. I've always loved cooking. It was one of my very first special interests. And I would sit and watch Food Network for hours. Pretty much as long as my mom would let me watch TV. I was watching New Food Network and absorbing and learning everything about cooking. It was my first special interest. So when I decided to do YouTube, I'm like, of course, I'm going to do a cooking channel. And before I was diagnosed, I was heavily masked, and I'm still in the process of unmasking, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later on in this video. But masking is where, especially women, autistic people, but it can happen for any autistic person, tries to fit in and be neurotypical. We don't know we're doing it. We don't know we're autistic until we get a diagnosis. And we're just doing it as a survival mechanism. So in my cooking videos, because I'm talking about my special interest, I'm much more fluent. I can talk faster and I can there's a better flow to the video, oftentimes. But this is where I get advice. My videos were too long. I talk too much. It's my special interest. Autistic people do something called info dump. When we have a special interest, we want to give all the information about it. So over the course of doing these YouTube videos, I kept trying to learn how to fit the mold. Again, it's part of masking too. It's like, I want to be successful at YouTube, so I would listen to other YouTubers and get the advice on how to grow on YouTube. And they would be like, you have to have short, flashy videos. Get to the point, right to the point. Cut out all the extra stuff. And it's just not me. It didn't feel authentic, but I didn't know how to, and I kept trying. And finally I'm like, you know what? I'm just me. I'm just gonna have to make longer videos because that's how I think. And this is, again, all before a diagnosis. Then I started this channel at my sister's urging because there's not that much information about aphantasia and SDAM. They're both very rare neurodivergencies. And so she was very curious because she is the opposite of me, and she wanted to learn more, and she thought other people might be interested in learning about not being able to see in your mind's eye and all my weird memory stuff. And so I started this channel, and sorry, there's a hair. So again, the speech patterns of autistic people tend to be slow because we are processing everything in our environment. I'm processing the sun coming out. I'm processing the ring light behind me, that piece of paper over here, this one hair that will not leave me alone. All of this sensation is amplified in an autistic brain. And for us to block all that out and talk takes a lot of brain power. Okay. So, seriously, I've got to find this hair. I don't know. Can't see it. trying to find my tangent. So on my kicking videos, they were too long, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to be me. Oh, no. That's not where I was. I was on this video. So I started this channel and to talk about aphantasia and SDAM. Then I realized that I might actually be autistic. And I was like, well, I'll just roll that into the content because, that's one other thing the algorithm likes is that you stick to a niche. And so I'm like, it's all neurodivergent. And it is interesting. There isn't enough overlap. A lot of times people want to only watch my autistic videos, and some people only want to watch my aphantasia videos. And I hope that the people who are watching sometimes will watch the other videos too. I'm not going to niche down further. This is all my brain. I can't sometimes even tease out what is aphantasia, SDA, ADHD, and autism. They're all crowded together in one brain. But as I'm learning to unmask, I am learning to be okay with the pauses. Give myself that time to collect my thoughts, block the sensations. It takes so much effort to block everything out. Now, when you're info dumping and it's your passion, you can talk a lot more fluently about something. I am new to autism. I am learning it. It is my new special interest, actually. I am researching and reading about it from other creators and other psychologists, reading books of published psychologists, and just reading and absorbing as much information as I can, relating it to my own experience, and then sharing with you the process of being a late diagnosed woman and how the unmasking process is going. It is important to unmask for your mental health. Trying to keep up the mask and trying to pretend that you're neurotypical and fit into a neurotypical world can lead to autistic burnout, which looks a lot like depression. And I will put a disclaimer because it is very important. I am privileged to do so, and it is one reason why I want to spread autism awareness. There are certain cultures and people who it is not safe for them to unmask. Society looks at certain types of people and sees them as a threat if they are unmasked. If a tall male is flapping, stimming, that can be seen as a threat. And people of color too. Hold on, let me get my tea. So people who, like myself, have the privilege to be able to unmask and maybe just be seen as a little weird, but be able to spread education and autism acceptance and awareness, two separate things. I want to do this so that people everywhere who have autism can unmask and just be their self. Because being able to stim in public helps regulate our brains. I was sharing a story the last time I was at the grocery store. And I talk about the grocery store a lot. I'm a stay-at-home mom, I spend a lot of time at the grocery store. The grocery store is one of my very big sensory overload places that I have to do on a weekly basis. Last time I was there, my hot cocoa, no, not hot cocoa, my cocoa, dark chocolate cocoa. I drink chocolate milk pretty much every morning for breakfast. It's my comfort meal. My cocoa was gone. They did not have, not even a substitution. They didn't have any dark cocoa. And I don't like milk cocoa. I like the dark. I just stared at the shelf, going like this. I don't know how long it was, but it was probably for a while. And my brain was racing. Like, do I get milk chocolate? Is there any way I can create my morning milk without my dark cocoa? And I was just, ugh. Finally, I had to just accept it was not going to show up on the shelf. And I'm either going to have to drink milk chocolate this week, maybe go back to the store another day to see if they were restocked, go to another store for my cocoa. Like these are the thoughts that are racing through my head. I did try to eat some other breakfasts this week. It was very unsettling. I'm a sensory seeker in most food areas, but I like my breakfast to be my milk chocolate every morning. I make it with stevia, so it's not too sugary. Anyway, I didn't know this video was going to be hard. It's not easy to learn that you're autistic and that these things that make you look weird are comforting. But it is. And in my cooking videos, I have pauses. I edit them out. And even on this channel, if I have a really long pause, I try to edit it out because people will click off. They don't want to see the pauses. We don't have time in this busy world to give someone the space to talk, to have their thoughts at the pace that they need to say them. If someone's talking slow, we hit the 2x speed up button, which I'd rather you do than click off my video. Or we click off the video. Because this world is too fast paced. And I'm very smart. I have very high IQ. But I process slow sometimes, especially when I'm talking about a subject that I'm still learning about. Like I said, I'm gathering up all of this research and learning and bringing it to you, and I'm trying to apply so that I can unmask, so that I can be healthy and strong, and I can learn what I need about my life, what is important to me. There are so many times that I would go on autopilot. I would do the things that I thought were required of me, or not required, but expected of me. I would just go with what I thought that person needed or wanted from me. I never learned how to say no to things. And now I'm trying to learn, and it's hard. Very hard in this fast-paced world. So I wanted to make this very important video, and I am going to try to leave in all the pauses, because that's how my brain works. It takes me a while sometimes to think of what the next word needs to be. So if you watched all the way through this video, thank you. I appreciate it. I love being a content creator. I want to make a difference in your life, in your family's life. And I'm trying to learn how to do that by just being me and knowing that I am good enough, and I don't have to be funny and flashy, and I don't have to be a different content creator that I look to and admire, because I love them and I want them to be them, but I'm me. And I'm still finding out who that is. Thank you guys.